Hey guys, Marsing in here bringing you another Dragon Ball Z Dokkan battle video. And so yesterday with the release of Yamcha and his celebration, we got the EZA for the Battlefield LR UUB. So this is one that I think in terms of the schedule compared to JP, we've been waiting for quite some time. I actually can't remember. I think, was he out of order from the Metal Cooler Army one, or were we just waiting even longer for them? I actually can't remember. But we finally have the EZA for this guy, so we're going to test him out here. The big question, of course, is going to be for a lot of people, especially if you're newer and haven't been doing, you know, every single Battlefield since it came out, is it going to be worth your Battlefield medals to buy the EZA medals for this guy? Because that's the only way you get them, right? You have to exchange for your Battlefield currency. And one of the big issues with this guy straight away is obviously the fact that because of the character that he is, he's not on a ton of teams and doesn't have a ton of like super good linking partners, but we're going to try him out here. He is actually on Yamcha's 200% leader skill, so I figured since we've done a video using Yamcha as the highlight, we might as well try out one of these builds where we're actually just going to float both of the Yamchas and see how we get on. I bought the STR EZA UUB, who could potentially be a bit of a liability, but he is obviously going to be the best linking partner for this guy. One of the big main differences after his EZA now is that he does raise defense on both of his super attacks, so obviously that is going to be pretty important. He does give himself quite a lot of ki, which is good as well for his links. He starts off with 100% attack and defense start of turn, raises ki by up to 10 and attack and defense by up to 100%. The more HP, the greater the boost. He gives all allies 2 ki and attack and defense 20%, and then fuses with Buu when conditions are met, which is below a certain amount of HP, 50% or less. Let me double check actually, what was that pre-EZA? Yeah, pre-EZA it was 40%, so that makes it a little bit easier to get, because he is one of those units where, like, he is much better once he transforms, so you really want that to happen, like, as soon as possible, basically. So, he shares Infighter and Kamehameha with Yamcha, and then obviously he's picking up Legendary Power from Piccolo here as well, so, what is his start of turn defense here? 200k. I mean, he's going to get the 30% raise on Super. Obviously, his kit doesn't have any sort of built-in additionals or anything like that. So not the craziest defense. He has obviously no defensive tech other than that slight defense raise on Super. And remember, the extra 100% attack and defense from his passive is based on the amount of HP that you start the turn with. So those kind of passives are always a little bit annoying. 5.7. Those kind of passives are always annoying because when we go into the harder content against the harder hitting bosses, you can very often get blasted by a super attack, survive, and then you start the next turn, but you're at like, you know, 20-30% HP. That means this guy's going to be missing out on a huge chunk of stats, which is not really what you want. So he does lower attack on both of his supers as well. He's always been good for events where you can debuff. Like that turn there, we got the double super. Obviously, that would have been very beneficial in events where we can debuff the enemy. We'll go ahead and do this. I'll sacrifice the super with Piccolo so we can get the big key turn here for Gohan. And then we'll just grab this for Yamcha here. So Piccolo in slot 1, not going to take any damage here. Shame he doesn't get key when he gets hit for the first time, but this STR Piccolo is still a very good unit. Probably still one of, if not the best, like side banning unit. I guess Yajirobe could arguably take that spot now that he has released, but even off leader skill, you see people running him. So, but STR Piccolo is still very good. Gohan. So turn 1 that didn't get recorded, he got 20 ki and didn't get the additional super either. And at least we get the hidden potential one here. And then Yamcha 3.2. Is this my Yamcha in slot 3? This is his first attack of the event, so hey, we get the additional from the hidden potential though. Definitely impressed with Yamcha. I think I've been link leveling mine. He's at about 5s and 6s for basically all of his links. Yes, he's still taking 30k after a double super. Not ideal. Alright, so now we are going to have the two UUBs together. Now, before they transform, they actually only share 2 links. LR Oob is going to have slightly higher defense. I suppose if we put the STR one in slot 1, there's always the possibility we accidentally kill. So we'll do this. Hopefully we won't get a super straight away in slot 1 here. Ideally, I do want to lose some HP so I can get the transformation into Marju, because that is the form that the STR one is, right? So once the tech one transforms, we share a lot more links. So you can see with no extra support on the rotation, 4.5. I'm trying to think, like, where would be the best place to use this guy, because he does at least give a little bit of support. Now, obviously, he is a GT hero, right? So he is on Kamehameha as well, so he would be on the 200% leader skill for the LR Super Saiyan 4s. Now, once you transform with him, he does still keep the support, and it goes up to 40%. Although that's when there's another Margin Power ally attacking in the same turn. Which is not going to be something very commonly achieved unless you have unless you have the Marjube with him. Although, interestingly, funnily enough, this is my first time looking at his passive, because usually I jump into these events with these characters and we just kind of go through, like, I liked these to be my kind of first impression, so I go through the passive in the video. And interestingly enough, so when you transform with him, you recover HP, then you get a certain amount of attack and defense, then he gets an extra load of attack and defense when he's the only Margin Power unit in that turn. And then he gives support if there's another Margin Power ally in the turn. So he'll be weaker, but he'll be a support unit. I feel like that's a weird way round of doing it, because if they made it so that he was a support unit when he was the only Margin Power character, then you could probably make an argument for running him on GT heroes. Whereas instead, that means he's going to be a support unit only when there is a Margin Power character. So that means you're either going to be running him on GT heroes with this STR Oob, who is potentially a liability, or you're running him on the Margin Power team, but he's not going to link up super well with any units outside of the STR Marjube. And then if you are running him on his own, he's just getting his own stat buffs. So then it's almost like, why would I run him on GT heroes if he's not providing support? He's not going to be like a main rotation unit. Now, I guess depending on how well your run is going, if you're going to run him on GT heroes, you probably are solely running him for the support, so you don't want him to transform. But as we already mentioned earlier on, like, if you go up against one of these tougher bosses and you get hit with a big super, you are going to drop below his HP threshold. So not really too sure where I see this guy, like, fitting in. And I think the main question that I addressed at the beginning of the video is the fact that you have to spend a significant amount of battlefield currency to get the medals for this guy. And unless we get like a Dokkan Fest Oob who's actually really good, I can't see a lot of instances where I would run this guy personally. I do think, again, looking at his passive for the first time once he's transformed, I think that's a very weird way of doing his passive. So let's go ahead and... I want Yamcha to take some damage ideally, so we'll put him in slot 3 here. Let's do this. We don't need to super with Piccolo. And then grab these. And then I won't get a same type orb for Yamcha, just so we don't get any extra healing there. Of course he supers Piccolo. Well, I guess I don't want him to super Yamcha and for us to die, but... wow. Did a lot more damage than I was expecting. Alright, well, I guess we just need Yamcha to actually come through with the dodges in slot 3 then, otherwise we will actually die here. Although Yamcha, I think it's... Nah, see, because he's been floating. That's the only problem with, I guess, floating Yamcha, is that he does build up his passive by attacking, so you have to get lucky in the turns. If you are going to float him, the turns where he actually does appear on rotation, he needs to be getting those additional attacks. Otherwise, you're not going to be building up your passive very quickly. Does get extra dodge chance with each super as well. Can we get the extra one here? No. Okay, cool, we're good. Alright, well, we're going to get the Marjube transformation, so here we go. So we transform into Marjube, so it's recover 40% HP. Then you get 120% attack and defense start of turn. He's not the only Martian Power ally attacking in the turn, so he's not getting the extra 120, but he is now providing 2 key and 40% attack and defense. He randomly changes key spheres of a certain type to rainbow, and then he gets 2 extra key per rainbow key sphere and 20% attack and defense per rainbow key sphere. So he starts off at 300k. I guess that's not bad, because obviously now we're not reliant on HP for him to have high stats. So yeah, I can get 4 rainbow orbs if we do this. So 4 rainbow orbs, that puts him up to 376k start of turn. And then he raises attack and defense for 1 turn on the 12 key, lowers attack, raises attack and defense on the 18 key, and greatly lowers attack. The only problem is, again, no defensive tech, so he has 376k defense, but that's it. That's just raw defense. He's got no guard or anything like that, so him being in slot 1 here, potentially a liability. Let's see how much we actually take. Yeah, 53k. I mean, that attack stat though, 8.1. Yeah, that's pretty good. No crit though, so it means we don't do a crazy amount of damage. And then we get hit with a super. So he got the defense raise for the turn, but then type disadvantage means that he just gets absolutely annihilated. So I think that's the problem with these kind of units now. We think about some of the kit like abilities that units are getting that are releasing now, even free to play units, and then you think this unit, even though originally the unit is very old, like he's only just got his EZA now, but just from looking at his kit, like there's not really anything impressive about this unit at all to me. Pre-transformation, he gives a little bit of support, so I guess if you really are lacking for your GT Heroes team, like maybe, because what categories is he on? He's on Resurrected Warriors, Transformation Boost, Kamehameha, Bond of Master and Disciple, Earthlings, Martian Power, Saviors, Connected Hope, GT Heroes, Fused Fighters, and Earthbred Fighters, or Warriors Raised on Earth. So he's on a lot of categories that I guess could use some extra units, but again, the problem is, even without getting his EZA, if you don't have him at all, he's a Battlefield LR. So to even get him rainbowed, you have to buy 5 copies of him. In fact, let's go into the Battlefield shop here, because they add extra copies in that you can buy, I guess, to use to put up the SA. I just used the Dozing Highs, but yeah, see, it costs, what, 250,000 to buy 1 copy of him. So if you wanted to actually buy 5 copies to rainbow him, I mean, look how many Battlefield memories that is. That's almost all the Battlefield memories that I have. Now, I have rainbowed and EZA'd all of the Battlefield LRs so far. Well, actually, I say rainbowed. The ones that have got EZAs I've rainbowed. I never bothered to buy the extra copies of Barbady and Deborah. And you can see, like, how many Battlefield memories I have. Like, if I bought all these copies of these guys to rainbow them now, and then their EZA came out, you know, relatively soon, I wouldn't have enough Battlefield memories to buy all of the medals. So they definitely need to drop more of these medals if they're going to make these LRs and their EZA medals cost like more Battlefield points every single time. Because honestly, addressing the question that I raised right at the beginning of the video, and probably will be part of the title, I would have to say that no, it probably isn't worth your Battlefield memories. If you're somebody who has not done the EZA for this guy yet, personally I would say don't even bother. But let me know what you guys think down below. I'm sure there's somebody out there who is a big UUB fan who is excited for this guy. I think he was quite useful at one point, you know, in his lifetime, but now, like, his EZA, getting his EZA now, in like, well, we're going into the second quarter of 2023, like, he's just nowhere near good enough. You know, we'd need a Dokkan Fest UUB that is also providing support for this guy to even be runnable, I would say. So let me know what you guys think down below, but honestly, I am quite disappointed. So that is going to be it for the video, guys. This has been the Masked Ningen. Smash that like button, subscribe to the channel if you are new. Check out the links down below for the Discord and the merch store, and I will see you all again soon. Have a good one.